Okay, thank you so much everyone for joining me. So lovely to see you all. Really nice to have this space together. So today we're going to be working. I did a really beautiful class this morning, and it really inspired me to draw the same kind of flow and energy into what I'm doing for this evening. And it was talking about the Vata dosha, which is the air dosha in Ayurvedic medicine, and it's all to do with the ether, with air, with internal wind, and that element, and also to do with the digestive system, and how we move internally through the wind system in the body. So when we're trying to find wind, the wind element, we want to balance it by finding stability and grounding and a sense of slowing down the pace, of trying to find less movement. So throughout the practice, I'd invite you to keep your eyes closed for as much of this as you can, and really to minimize the amount of movement that you're doing throughout today's practice. Yin is very much about slowing down and finding a stable, slow, and stationary position, and we're finding that pause anyway. So I thought it'd be a really nice way to bring that element in, with the focus and theme for today is encountering stillness. So we're trying to really draw that still point in to our physical body, and then this in turn starts to flourish more into the emotional bodies, into the mental bodies. And when we really drop into stillness and we find peace within that stillness, we start to really connect into our higher self. We start to connect in with information and our truest knowledge and wisdom. And we're going through extremely chaotic times where it's very, very turbulent. We haven't experienced anything like this. It's a total expansion of human uh, evolution and consciousness, and all of the structures that we had in place are slowly um, finding a disruption and then a change or a complete collapse. So, in a moment of complete chaos, and especially in the Western world, we're very used to having a Vata lifestyle, which is fast and quick paced and always on the move, and always very, very fluid in terms of that wind element, very airy, breezy, and expansive, sort of evasive as well. So I wanted to really pull the opposite into what we're practicing today to help us to really ground and stabilize and find a much more slow and stationary sensation within our body, and then we can start to pull this into everyday life, into situations that are arising, and how we're moving through this whole period that we're moving through in terms of COVID as well. So also the wind is to do with like the arms and the lungs, but mainly today we're going to be working around the digestive system. So lots of twisting and folding. So you can use these postures to really help shift internal winds, allow the body to release any external etheric energy within the body. So you're feeling a much more deeper connection into the sense of earth and grounding. And we're going to start laying down on the back. So if you're not there already, you can just start to come to a flat back, long leg, and your arms are just going to come down beside your hips. So you can have the palms just gently facing down. Just relaxing through the legs, completely let go of all the muscles. I'm going to take a little bit of movement through the arms just to encourage a bit more chi flow through the lungs, through the arm, the lung and heart meridian lines. So as we inhale, we can just take the arms up parallel to each other, all the way up over the head, taking the inhale fully until the hands come down to touch to the floor above the head. Relax through the shoulders, and then as we exhale, nice slow full breath out, we can take the palms parallel down to the floor, so arms are moving together. We're just going to add a little bit of count to this as we inhale. for 4, taking it up for 1, for 2, for 3, for 4, arms coming all the way back, and then exhaling for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, hands touching down to the mat, inhaling back again and lifting up for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, this time lengthening it to a 5, exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, hands touch down, palms down, inhaling up for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, this time we're exhaling, bringing the palms back down for 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to do 2 more rounds, inhaling up for 4, 2, 3, 4, palms touch down, back of the hands, and then we're going to come down for 7, slowing it down a little bit more for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last round, inhaling up for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the last time we're going to exhale for 8, coming down with the palms flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Slowly resting the hands down. You can relax through the shoulders, relax through the arms. Just take a nice deep breath into the chest. Now and exhale, releasing the breath out through the mouth. From here, we can slowly start to walk your feet flat to the mat. Just connecting the feet down. Shifting the tailbone down a little bit longer so you feel a nice length coming to your lower back. And we want the feet a little bit closer into the sit bone so you can just touch the heels with your fingertips. And we're going to be moving through a bridge flow. So taking just the hips up to begin with, we can press the hands, arms, forearms and upper arms and the upper back into the mat. Take an inhale, we're going to push into the feet, lift the hips off of the floor, sending the knees away from the face to come up into your bridge. Coming up as high as you can, try to lift the upper back, the back of the heart off of the floor. And then as we exhale, we're going to slowly roll down the spine. Try to get the spine to elongate all the way into the tailbone. And the tailbone sacrum is the last part of the spine to come down to the mat. So we're going to inhale up for 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. And exhaling down for 4. 2, 3, 4. Hips touch down. Inhale, lift for 2, 3, 4. Coming down as you exhale for 2, 3, 4. We're just going to do 2 more like that. Inhale to lift for 2, 3, 4. Exhale to lower down for 2, 3, 4. And last set like this. Inhale to lift. 2, 3, 4. Exhaling down for 2, 3, 4. Placing the hips down to the mat. Slowly resting down for the legs. Keeping the feet and legs as they are. We're going to do a little bit more work just through the bridge. This time we're moving up with the arms and hands as you come up with the hips. So it's more of a fluid movement. We want to keep the breath ratio the same. So as we're inhaling, we're coming up the same amount of time as we're exhaling. So if it feels good for you to count to around 5 or 6 as you're inhaling and exhaling, try to keep the breath ratio the same. So as we're inhaling, we're going to lift the hips up, lift the arms all the way up. Give a nice slow movement and stretching out through the arms. Keep the shoulders relaxing down the back. And then as you exhale, you're going to slowly bring the hands, the arms, the hips and spine back down to the mat. So just moving at your own pace. Trying to keep it nice and fluid, keeping your awareness in the body, and trying to keep the breath ratio the same length. Breathing in and out through the nose. We'll just take in another 2 more flows through. The bridge is a really lovely flow to help stimulate chi to the lungs, and just helping to expand the lung chi flow, and relaxing any tension around the neck and shoulders. When you finish this last one, you can just place your hips and hands down to the mat. We're going to move the arms a little bit further out to the side of the body and just take some sways through the knees side to side. So just rolling from one side of the foot over to the other side of the foot, and feel this massaging out your lower back, just across the sacrum, and maybe also a little bit to the sides of the hips. Just rolling very easy, very gently, side to side. Just taking one more to each direction. And then we can slowly bring that to stillness, bringing the knees into the chest. You can hug around the outside edges of the knees and really squeezing the knees down to compress the abdomen, compress the lung area, relaxing through the shoulders, relax through the arms, relax through the face, breathing into the upper chest. Nice, and then slowly release that away a little bit. We're going to take the arms out into a T shape. So just moving any props out to the side. Take up a nice big space for your arms. We want to gently squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the heart up, and then melt the shoulder blades down to the mat so you feel nice and wide across the heart space. And the legs are going to come up into a tabletop position, so 90-degree angle. Just knees above the hips. And your hands are just a little bit lower than your shoulders, so we're not stretching up too high into the shoulder joint. So we're taking some twists here side to side. So as we inhale, we're going to breathe into the center, and as we exhale, we're going to take the legs over to the left-hand side, just taking it down for 4, for 2, 3, 4. As you drop, you can look over your right shoulder, taking an inhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. As you exhale, we're going to bring your head and legs back up to center, taking an inhale when you get to center, and as you exhale, we're coming over for 4, 2, 3, 4. Head looks to the opposite direction, taking an inhale here, letting yourself land, and as you exhale, we're squeezing the core up, belly button back to spine, lifting up for 4, 2, for 3, for 4, coming back to center, gaze and knees, inhaling here. And as we exhale, we're looking to the opposite direction, coming down for 2, 3, 4 with the legs. Taking a breath in. And as you exhale, coming back up for 4, 2, 3, 4. Gazes back to center. And exhale over to the right, looking over your left shoulder for 3, 4. Slowly coming down. Inhale here. And exhale, squeezing, lifting. 2, 3, 4. Coming back to center. Just doing one more to each side, counting in your mind. Taking the last side in your own time. Moving and counting with your breath. Nice, and then when you finish that last round, coming back into center, you can again hug the knees into the chest, give yourself a nice big squeeze, the tailbone lifts off the mat, and you can round your head, neck, shoulders off of the mat, squeezing yourself into a small ball. You can relax the shoulders, relax the face, relax your jaw. So then release your head, neck, shoulders down, just roll to your right side, Then we can use the left hand to gently push yourself up to a seated position. We're going to come over onto all fours. So just taking your knees underneath your hips, hands underneath the shoulders. Take up a nice stable base for your body. And just breathing in here, finding a nice neutrality to the spine, a little bit of a softness through the arms and elbows, and a gentle tuck in of the tailbone under. Pushing down into the toes, we're going to tuck the toes under. So breathing in here for 4, 2, 3, 4. As we exhale, we're going to lift the hips up, coming slowly into down dog for 4, 2, 3, 4. Pushing all the way back, taking an inhale here for 4, 2, 3, 4. And as we exhale, we're going to come down to all fours for 4, 2, 3, 4. Bringing the knees down, taking an inhale here for 4, 2, 3, 4. As we exhale, we're pushing up and back into down dog for 2, 3, 4. Stretching the arms, stretching the legs, taking an inhale for 2, 3, 4. Exhale, coming forward and down into your all fours for 2, 3, 4. When your knees touch down, taking an inhale for 2, 3, 4. As we exhale, pushing up and back down dog, 2, 3, 4. Taking an inhale for 2, 3, 4. As you exhale, last round, coming all the way down for 2, 3, and 4. Slowly relaxing the knees down, relaxing through the feet. You can start to send the hips back to come into a child's pose. If it feels nice, you can stretch your arms out long or bring your hands back to rest the shoulders. You might want to use a brick under the forehead. We're relaxing the upper body down, taking a few rounds of breath, letting the body come back into a nice slow pace. Just taking your last round of breath here. And then slowly start to lift yourself back up. We're coming all the way down to the floor, coming to Sphinx. So you can start to roll your hips, belly, chest down to the mat. And when you get down, just start to extend out through the legs so you feel nice and long through the hip bone area, through the lower pelvis. And then we can start to slide your elbows just further forward than your shoulder. So you've got a nice little gap between your body and your elbow. And then we can pause here into Sphinx. So we're going to slow down the practice a little bit now, coming into a hold and a pause here. So if you feel like you need any extra props, you might like to take a bolster or a pillow underneath the chest. This just helps to prop the chest up with a little bit less effort from the muscles. And if you wanted to rest your forehead, it might feel nice to take a brick just to rest your forehead onto if you've got any tension in the neck and shoulders. Or it might feel nice for you to let the head drop if you have got any tension through the neck. It might feel more comfortable to stretch the back of your neck rather than looking forward. But if you can, we're looking forward, we're lifting up the chest, and we're just gently pushing back from the hands. We're trying to keep the lower back relaxed, the glutes and the legs are relaxed, and we're feeling the heart is shining forward. So here we're going to be compressing into the abdomen, into the organs. So really feel as you're breathing in, the belly's expanding still. And as you exhale, you're feeling that gentle toning of the abdomen back toward the spine, back body as you exhale. If your eyes aren't already, you might like to close down through the eyes, drawing the attention up to the third eye point. Finding a nice stillness here. So we're just taking another minute and a half. We're here for 3 minutes in total. Feeling a nice lengthening through the spine. Each vertebra is opening as you energize out through the heart space and crown of your head. If you feel it's a little bit too strong, you can always regress the position down into a baby cobra, taking the hands beside the chest and lowering your body down a little more. If you feel that you want to increase the stretch, you can take your hands just off of the mat and pushing up through straight arms to come into seal pose. Again, keeping the legs and glutes relaxed. Just coming through the last 45 seconds. If you've taken seal, just allowing yourself to come down lower. And if you've taken any props, just moving the props out to the side. You can slowly take the hands back beside the hips and let the body come down flat, taking your gaze to look over your left shoulder. Resting the cheek to the floor. And allowing ourselves to come into our rebound, just taking a minute here. And then you can turn the face to the opposite direction. And slowly coming back to center. We're moving into a few dynamic locust positions to increase and encourage the Vata movement through the body, and then we can slow it down again. So you can either work with your hands just rested beside your chest, your thumbs pointed inward, or we can work with the hands lifted, but keeping that same sort of position with the elbows tucking into the waist and the hands just in level with the chest, just below the shoulders. So bringing your hands into position, taking the gaze a little bit more lifted up through the head, up through the neck, just lifting up slightly, looking towards the floor. As we inhale, we're going to lift up through the chest, the upper body. You can either push through the hands and keep the hands here, or you can lift your hands and elbows up as you lift up. And as we exhale, we're slowly coming down. When we lift up, next time we're taking up the right leg with us, lifting up through the upper body. Inhale, lift. And exhale to lower. This time left leg's lifting as we inhale, lift upper body, lift leg, squeeze back body, and exhale to come down. Lifting again, right leg, inhale, lift upper body, right leg lifts. Exhale to lower. Inhale, left leg lifts, upper body lifts. Exhale to lower. Two more like that. Inhale to lift right leg, upper body. Exhale to lower. Inhale, left leg, upper body lifts. Exhale to lower, last set. Inhale, right leg, upper body lifts. Squeeze back body, exhale to lower. And last, left leg, upper body lifts. And exhale to lower. We can bring the hands, tuck the elbows in, hands just beside the chest. Gently push into the hands. Come through a cat as you round your back, pushing yourself all the way back into a child's pose. Coming down to your sit bones, to your heels. Stretching and elongating through the spine, tucking chin to chest. Breathing into your back body, finding stability through the pelvis. Just taking one more round of breath here. Nice. From here, we're going to come up onto all fours, and then we're taking our left foot forward, coming into a low lunge position. So if you need a little bit of extra propping, you might want to take your blanket underneath your right knee. And you might also want to use a pillow or a bolster in front of your right leg just to prop yourself up here. So the back toes can relax back, and we want the front knee just rested stacked over the left ankle. So you can either stay here if that's enough for you, or if you want to add bricks and stay here, you might like to just use your bricks to lift you up a little bit higher, give you a bit more space for the abdomen. And if you want to increase it, we're just coming into a twist from here. So we can lift up, and then we're taking the right elbow to hook, and then palms are going to come together and turn through the chest. So we're turning to look towards the back of the mat. We're just going to be here for a minute on each side. So letting your hips sink down to the floor, nice strong front foot, and you're gently twisting through the upper back, compressing the abdomen to that left leg. Your neck is relaxed, but you're looking towards the back of your mat. We're just breathing here. Finding stillness in the shape. Focusing your awareness back onto your breath. Allow your breath to be your anchor. Just here for another 20 seconds. Slowly derotating if you've taken the twist, coming out of the shape. Gently shifting your hips back, each of us, and then we can walk the fingertips back, and we're changing the left leg over. So taking the left knee to the back of the mat, kneeling. We're taking the right leg forward, and then we can either work here, if you did on the other side, we can take just a low lunge. We're still compressing the abdomen, or you might like to take bricks under the hands if you're going to come here. If you took the twist, we're lifting up. We're going to twist to the right, hook the left elbow, and turn to the right side. Taking the gaze to the back of the mat. Trying to turn through the upper back. We're wringing out the lungs. We're twisting through the digestive system. We're feeling that nice pressure of the abdomen against the thigh. And we're just breathing. You can take the gaze internal and find as much stillness as you can. Allow the breath to slow down. Just here for the last 20 seconds. Slowly coming out of the shape, gently derotating the body, shifting the hips back, start to pad yourself back, and then we can slowly take that right foot back, the knees coming to the back of the mat. Just coming through any movements that might feel nice, it might feel good to take some cat-cows, or it might feel nice to come into a child's pose, just taking a little rebound before we go into the next shape. Nice, just taking one more breath wherever you are. Okay. And then we're going to move into camel, which is a bit of a back bend. So we're opening up now the front body, and we're moving into an expansion and opening through the abdominals. We're going to do a little bit of movement to help us come through these shapes first. And you can always take the movement onto the floor if it feels more comfortable. You can work from your belly down with your legs up, and you're just working to lift your upper body off of the mat. If that feels enough for you today, you can work from there. Otherwise, it might be nice for you to pad up your knees with a blanket. You can tuck the toes under and we're just sitting back to the heels. From here, we want to take the hands back and rest the hands just onto the back of the heels. As we inhale, we're going to take the left hand up, lift up through the hips, and we're just sending the hip bones forward as we take the arm up and back. And then as we exhale, we're coming back down, hips to heels, and bring that left hand down. And then we go the other side. As we inhale, we're pushing up through the hips, taking your right arm all the way up, opening the chest, pushing the hip bones forward, elongating the spine. And then as we exhale, we're going to slowly come back down. Inhale, left arm lifts, lifting up through the hips, open the spine, elongate, push forward. And as you exhale, slowly coming back down to your seat. Right side, inhale, lift arm, lift hips. Exhale, sinking down. If this feels good for you, you can work from here. If you want to keep working through this flow. If you want to come into camel and hold, we're going to slowly push into the hips, this time keeping the hands rested onto the heels. And then we want to push the hip bones as far forward as we can. So we're opening up the heart, we're opening up the shoulder girdle, we're opening up the abdomen and the pelvis. So you can either keep chin tucked to chest, you can look up to the ceiling, or you can let your head drop all the way back to open up into the throat as well. I'm going to keep my chin tucked to the chest. We're just staying here for about 8 rounds of breath, just 1.5 minutes. This one you want to keep the glutes squeezing, keep the back body opening and lengthening, energizing from the root, the tailbone, lengthening up through the spine into the crown of your head. Breathe into the front line of your body, trying to find expansion, trying to find a softening in the heart space, keeping the gaze internal or not moving, and try to find as much stillness if you're staying in camel. If you're taking the flows, we're just doing another 4 rounds. Just taking your last round of breath here in your camel. If your head's dropped back, gently tucking chin to chest as you exhale, and then allowing yourself to slowly come back down to your seat. You can take your hands forward, relax the toes back, and just come in to sit back to the heels. Turning the palms up to the ceiling, close down through the eyes. Just taking a moment to receive the pose. Nice, taking the last round of breath here. And then we can slowly come round with the legs. I'm going to come into a forward fold from here. So if you feel the pelvis is slightly rolling backwards and your upper back is rounded, just grab a blanket and you can bring it underneath your sit bones. And then shift yourself towards the edge. We want to have a very gentle bend in the knees, and if it feels nice for you to take a bolster underneath the back of the knees, we can work from here too. Making sure that the heels are still grounded to the floor, and we want to keep a nice long spine for this one. We're going to do a little bit of dynamic to begin with, encouraging the Vata flow, and then we'll come into stillness afterwards. So from here, we can just bring the fingertips by the hips. As we inhale, take the arms wide out to the side, reaching the palms up to face each other above the head. And then as we exhale, we're going to hinge from the hips, keep a flat back, taking the hands all the way down to the floor as far as you can go, exhaling fully. And then as you inhale, lifting up through the upper body, coming up to a straight spine. We're going to move through 4. So coming down as you exhale for 4, 2, 3, 4. Lifting up for 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Coming up to straight spine. Exhale down for 4, 2, 3, 4. Tapping down. Inhale to lift for 4, 2, 3, 4. Last set like this. Exhale, forward fold for 4, 2, 3, 4. Slowly lifting up for 4. Coming inhale, 2, 3, 4. This time we're going to slowly round from the head, neck, shoulders. Let the shoulders roll forward. Let the chin touch the chest. And then just start to curve through the spine. So we want to let the spine completely curve this time. And we're slowly allowing the arms to relax down, coming into our forward fold. Whatever feels nice to rest into. We want to breathe into the spine, let the head drop, let the shoulders roll forward, let the legs relax. Try to keep that gentle bend into the back of the knee or pad up behind the back of the knee, keeping the heels connected to the floor. Really compressing the abdomen to the thighs here and letting the body sink and soften and relax. We're just here for about another 1.5 minutes. Just taking our last round of breath here in our forward fold. And taking your time to slowly unravel, coming back up to a lifted position. Moving any props out to the side. Nice, we're going to come into a seated twist from here. So you can keep your legs out in front of you. We're just going to take our right leg over our left. And just bring that foot down to the floor. You want to really pull the leg into the body so it's nice and compressed to the thigh. And then if it feels good to keep your leg extended, you can keep it there. Or you can start to bring your left foot round and bring that underneath the hip. And then maybe you want to bring that foot a little bit closer in towards the body. And then from here, we can lengthen up through the spine. Try to get the chest to lift a little bit higher so you can get a nice compression of the leg to the thigh to the belly. And then we can slowly start to twist round through the back body. Just placing either tripod fingers to the floor or flat palm behind you. Try to roll that shoulder back and down, and then we inhale, lift up through the arm, left side, and exhale to hook and twist. If that's too much, you can just hug around the thigh and pause here. And then maybe looking towards the back of the mat, you can start to close down for the eyes and finding stillness in the shape. So twisting really is a beautiful way to decompress the nervous system. It helps to wring the spine out, and it allows us to really drop down into a calmer space. It's very grounding, and it wrings not only the hips out, but the digestive system, the entire spine, and also the lungs. So we're getting a nice flush through of energy in all of our systems and within the musculature around the hips, the spine, the upper back. So let your breath really flood into the body as much as you can, expanding you. And as you exhale, finding that nice cleansing flush of wind through the body. We're just here for another 30 seconds on this side. Slowly do rotating with your next inhale. Just come to center and pause. Keeping the eyes closed, just pausing in the middle. You can hold around your front leg. Just breathing into the body. And then we can slowly lean back into the hands, take the legs out in front and cross in. Just come into your sit bones again, finding a nice position to rest into through the seat. And then this time we're going to take the left leg across. I'm doing the same way as you. Just plant down through the foot, and then you can either keep your right leg extended out, or you can bring the foot round just underneath the sit bone, underneath that side of the hip, maybe adjusting your left foot. Make sure the foot's completely planted down to the floor. And then we want to hug the leg a little bit closer in, lift up through the spine, extend and open through the chest. And then we can take the left hand behind us this time, lifting up through the right arm and either twisting and hooking, or we can hold round the thigh. Try to get your left shoulder to tuck in and under. So we're opening out the left side of the chest. And maybe looking over that left shoulder to the back of your mat. You can again close down through the eyes if they're not already. Start to draw your energy inward, finding a nice slow pace of breath. So as we work more deeply into the digestive system, we're allowing a nice flushing through of any toxins, any stagnation, whether this be physical, any foods that we've consumed. It really helps the digestive system to move. We're also flushing through and helping the digestion of any emotions that may be stuck or unprocessed in the digestive system, in our solar plexus, in our chakra system. Allowing your muscles to really relax, finding a nice soft and gentle breath. Cleansing, purifying with each in and exhalation. Just here for another 30 seconds. And then with your next inhale, slowly coming back through to center, de-rotating. Just come to pause in the center. You can take hold of the front leg, keeping the eyes closed, just pausing in the center. And then we can slowly start to unravel the legs, taking the hands beside the hips, just lean back. And we're going to make our way into Shavasana from here. So you might like to bring a rolled up blanket underneath the back of the head. You might want to use a bolster under the back of the knees. Maybe bringing an eye pillow over your eyes, or taking a blanket over you. Just finding anything that might help you to get comfortable. We're going to be here for a little while. So when you're comfortable, just finding a nice deep breath in. And exhale to release the breath fully. Inhale to the belly, feel the belly expand. And exhale, releasing, letting the body melt into the support of the floor beneath you. Keep continuing to breathe in this way for the next minute. Just allowing yourself to feel the abdomen swell, expand as you inhale. And as you exhale, finding deep surrender, deep softening, deep stillness in the body as the abdomen drops and rests to the back body. Noticing the complete stillness of your body. Really allowing yourself to drop into a sense of stability and groundedness, calm and peace. Feeling the difference in the movement and the flow of the body, the movement of Vata and air around the body, and then in comparison to that, the stillness, stationary pause, as we allow ourselves to really deeply surrender just for one more minute here. Starting to deepen your in and exhales, bringing some energy into the fingers and toes, the wrists, the ankles, taking any movements or stretches that feel really good for you. And then when you're ready, just taking your time to roll onto your left side, take a moment to pause. before coming up to a seated position. We're going to finish with a pranayama and a meditation. So finding any comfortable position, either to shins or cross legs, taking any bricks or blocks, any cushions under the seat to lift the hips a little higher. We're going to read a beautiful but simple practice, equalizing breath. So we want to create a nice long spine, open chest, and then we're going to take the hands and just bring them underneath the armpits. So the fingers are just rested under, and then the thumbs are coming to the side of the pectoral muscles. So we're just holding around the sides of the chest. And you don't need to compress, we just want to gently cup into the armpit area. And then we can close down through the eyes, and we're just breathing here. So equalizing and balancing breath is a really simple way to bring balance to both masculine and feminine energies in the body. And we want to do that by just bringing awareness into the nose tip, into the breath coming in and out through the nose. And just start to pay attention to which side of the nose, which nostril is the more dominant. So where do you feel the breath coming in more strongly? It might be very subtle, it might be very obvious. We want to start to really feel the breath now moving into the less dominant nostril. So we're shifting all of the attention on drawing the breath in and out through the nostril that isn't taking in as much breath, as much air. Keep focusing your attention onto the nostril that is not taking as much air in, and visualize drawing more energy into this nostril to balance the breath in both nostrils. This might take you a little bit of time, but just keep your focus and concentration there until you feel and find that the breath is then balancing out. So you're feeling a nice equal flow of oxygen in through both nostrils, and then we can release the mudra for the arms and the hands, and just bring the hands to rest down onto the knees, and this is going to lead us into our next meditation. Just take your time here. And then we can release the focus of the breath and coming into our meditation, just starting to draw your awareness into your mind's eye. And visualizing the brain. And visualizing the brain now as a still and calm lake. Seeing the water of the mind's lake clear and calm and balanced, completely still. Visualizing the smoothness of the water in your mind's lake. Feeling the serenity and the peace of this lake in your mind. And if any thoughts arise, just visualizing it as one single ripple rolling out across the lake until it eventually dissipates and the lake comes back to stillness, smooth and calm. Your breath is smooth and calm, reflecting the stillness, the smoothness and the calm of the lake. And then you notice behind you a full moon start to rise up behind you. And you see the light of the moon beaming down onto the lake. And as it illuminates, you notice this beam of moonlight piercing through and out through your third eye point in between your eyebrows, clearing, illuminating, and lighting up your third eye point in between the eyebrows. Feeling the stillness and the calm of the lake, the luminous, shining, the clarity of the moonlight in your third eye. Maybe noticing a slight blue tone or tinge to the moonlight. And feel both the water and the moon's energy cleansing, clarifying, and purifying the mind's eye. And just watching through this scene of your mind's lake and the full moon in your mind, meditating here. And as you're breathing into this scene, this visualization, allowing the sensation of this scene of calm, still, peacefulness and clarity to spread throughout the entirety of your body, filling you with a sense of grounded stability, purified consciousness. Breathing here for another couple of rounds of breath. Absorbing the energies of your meditation. Just taking your last round of breath here. And then we can slowly bring the hands into Namaste at the heart space, taking a nice deep breath in. Exhaling to release any tension, any final parts of Vata energy to come more deeply inward into yourself and sense of grounding, stillness and stability. Bowing your head down, offering gratitude to the nourishment and the love, the stillness and peace that our practice creates for us. And may we allow the practice of yoga to flood into every area of our lives, encouraging a more extraordinary and peaceful, harmonious and loving life. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone.